my whole setup together. Praise and power. Welcome to a Saturday Moment of Harmony. We are here at our regularly scheduled day and time, where we initially kind of got everything started at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. And it's been a minute since we've been here on a Saturday at 10 a.m. We've been doing some Saturdays regularly, a little more regularly, but we haven't quite hit that 10 a.m. mark because of all of the things. It's been a great deal of mommy mercy. I love you all to life. Thank you. I'm just getting this further set up. Make sure that all the specs are good. I've been on a different device for about maybe a couple of months now. So it's still just filling the device out and making sure that it does what it needs to do. So welcome, welcome, welcome again to a Saturday Moment of Harmony. It is always an honor. It is always a complete and mutual pleasure when we meet and greet together under like mindedness, under kindness, under greatness, under grandness, and under growth. So I am again always excited to share this space with you, for us to dialogue, for us to get it in, and most importantly, for us to develop and to grow. A Moment of Harmony is a platform for just that, where we come together for the tools and the coursework necessary to grow through every day, every moment. Ding. We're growing one moment at a time, and I again am welcoming you to this safe space of love, light, and growth. Alignment, love, life, and alignment. That's what I should say. Even more than growth, we are aligning. Um, we are in a June series. We actually are in the last episode of our June series because we are in the first week of July. So we're going to start our July course next Saturday. We have been doing a series of mini series in 2026. Prior to this, we've kind of had some longer courses. I mean, 12 months, 14 months, 18 months, 6 months. We've had some really long courses. In 2026, we have just taken a step back and just done mini courses, getting them in, graduating month by month. And we're going to continue that theme throughout 2026 and get more into our, bigger coursework come 2027. We are currently at the halfway point. Welcome to the halfway. We are at the halfway point when we got into June. And so the course for those 4 weeks were entitled The Halfway Point, and it was our half point check-in. Halfway through 2026, we want to check in and say, how you healing? Okay. Shout out to Wendy Williams, right? Who did the how you doing, but how you healing? Okay. We wanted to go into that. We started the coursework off with how are you? How you healing? We started with where are you? Um, where you at? Where's the GPS on why are you? Then we did why are you? Don't be shy with your why. And we went into the reason that we are here, us remembering our why. And now we are closing out the coursework with what? What are you? What are you? Coming into our halfway point and being very specific and very intentional about our what. What are we doing? What are we doing here? What is unfolding in this year? And most importantly, what is unfolding within self? So today's episode is entitled Trajectory Over Titles. And we're going to get into that when we ask this question to ourselves of what are you? Trajectory over titles. Being able to look at that very healing, very transparently, very courageously, and of course, most importantly, developmentally and productively look at what are we doing here? What are you? What are you? So I cannot wait to get into that. I want to see if there's anywhere at the beginning of July, June zoomed. Okay, my goodness, I looked up and June was gone. So now that we're in July, I'm trying to figure out if we have early week shout outs. I know my late grandfather, Sam Horton's birthday would be on Monday. So birthday blessings out to him. Um, in the ancestral realm now, looking out, keeping us good. And I'm trying to think the beginning of July. I'm not getting a whole bunch that pops in. If it's your birthday, you're still in Cancer season. Happy birthday to you. I love to celebrate you. Always feel free to list in the comments and the chat. If it's your birthday, I will definitely shout you out and give you love. But right now, I know Sissy Pooh has a birthday coming up next week, but we're gonna get into that next week. Her birthday kind of will come before with the next time we see each other, but like literally the day before. So I think I'm gonna hold off on her. But that's coming. Turn up season. Okay. She's gonna be entering her last deck. Not sorry, I shouldn't say that. Her next decade parade where she'll be moving on up, getting into 39 and hiking to 40. Can't wait to welcome her to the 40 club. Um, that's all I can think of right now. There's so many things going on in the world. Just giving love and light to everyone. I'm not gonna just go on a tangent of the current climate, whether it is the weather, which is alarming right now, or whether it is just political climate, the economic. We know what's happening. And instead of us exploring what's happening around us, I more encourage us to explore what's happening inside of us because we will be the direction of correction. That's how I believe. This is this right here, direction of correction. And I think we can do it. So we're gonna get into that. Now, trajectory over titles. Let's get all up into this actual moment today. I don't know what is going on with my shaw. I keep on trying to, I don't know if I snagged it on something. We don't need that all. You know what I'm saying? The trajectory over titles. When we hear the question, what are you? So first off, let's just talk about where we are at a halfway point. When you come into the middle of the year, we are what, 180 some odd days into 2026. Of 365 days, we are over 180. We're in that 180-ish range into the year. That is a long way from the beginning and almost an equal amount from almost the equal amount from the end. And that middle space, that core space of where we are in our ambitions, in our goals, in our motivation, in our mental capacity is extremely relevant to where we are emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and where we are going with that. And when we talk about a trajectory, I want us to be able to look at not necessarily when someone says, what are you? A lot of times we're in this place in the middle of the year because we want to give a title. We want to give a title that we're proud of. We want to give a title that we've worked hard on, something that we've earned, but we want to quickly place ourselves in a role that justifies our existence, our value. And when you get to the middle of the year and you've made so many goals, you've made some resolutions, you've put, you made an outline, a vision board, what have you, of where you want it to be by now, and you aren't there, or you aren't consistently there, or you got there and you have some other questions about your development, you can start to really get stuck in that title mindset. You wanted to lose a certain amount of weight. Did you lose this weight? Did you become this gym rat? Did you become this entrepreneur? Did you become more financially stable? Did a pregnancy test come back positive and you're now a mom? Did you come back with a diagnosis or free of some type of illness or disease, what have you, right? The titles. I want to be known as, I want to be seen as, I want to experience this life as this title, right? Whatever your title is, entrepreneur, um, husband, wife, gym rat, mother, father. But when we reach this midpoint check-in, it is the middle of the year. It is halfway through your race, if you will. You are in the I don't even know, is it called a cockpit? I think it might be called that. But you're at the middle of the race where it is time to get tuned up, where it is time to tune in, where it is time to new tires and completely reset. This is what this moment of harmony is in the coursework that we've been doing thus far, and this is what we're going to be ending today in our halfway point checkout. Where you are right now, if I stop and say, what are you? Do you immediately go to a title? I know for me, whenever people say, tell me about yourself, I immediately think of all the titles. I'm a mom, I'm a poet, I'm a healer, I'm an educator, I'm an advocate. All of these things start to come up about what I am. And today, in a moment of harmony, as we are spiritually checking in, as we are checking in developmentally and intentionally, I don't want us to be so quick to throw out a title about what we are. I want us to be able to, again, trajectory over titles. What are you designed for? What are you made of? These are the things we're going to get in today. What are you made of? What are you growing? What are you now? Right? Instead of this title that you've been given, instead of this title that you grabbed onto, instead of this vision in your mind of success that's either been projected on you or you yourself have adopted, from many areas of false security, false identity, validation. We can go on and on with the low vibrational reasons for which we subscribe to certain titles or roles for self. Now, there is nothing wrong with a title. You have people that go to school for years, decades, even sometimes, to obtain credentialing, to have certain credentials. There is nothing wrong with being certified. There is nothing wrong with being appointed as, anointed as some type of role or title. You go through 9 months of pregnancy, 10 months, if people count accurately, to be a parent. So no one's taking your titles from you. That's not what this moment is about. It is not saying that you haven't earned your your kudos. You haven't paid like you weigh. But what I am saying today in a moment of harmony is we do trajectory over titles, is that when you are sitting to say, this is what I had in mind for this year. This is what I had in mind for my next chapter. This is what I've been working towards. And I'm sitting here and I sometimes feel like I'm in a cycle. Sometimes I feel like I'm in quicksand. Sometimes I'm really judging myself today over what hasn't become a part of my reality yet. And therefore, I'm looking at my year, 180 some odd days into my year, and I'm not seeing myself as a success. I am not seeing myself as growth. I am not happy with the reality. And I'm not looking at this year as a win. I want today for us to shift perspective purposefully, a purposeful perspective shift, so that you can see that you are exactly where you were intended to be for this 180 some odd days into the year. That you are exactly where you need to be for where you are moving and what is being orchestrated for you in your manifestation period, in your thought processing, and your developing and your development of your surroundings. You are where you are supposed to be. And many of you I know are going to say, Harmony, are you crazy? Because I signed up for this course at the beginning of the year and I did not even see it through. I started this diet at the beginning of the year. It's not even still holding on. I was working towards this goal. I was working towards this relationship. I was trying to heal or eradicate this thing in my life, and it's still here. And when you ask me what I am, I don't see myself as what I want it to be. And I want us to really begin to see ourselves as what we were designed to be. If you look at your design, I promise you will be able to see a version of yourself that deserves grace, that is worthy of the qualification that you are in right now, that is worthy of your patience and your dedication, and that is more than enough in the grand scheme of what you are becoming. That the place that you are in is a place that you are destined to be. And if we're not happy about that, if we are at a place where we're saying, like, look, enough is enough, I'm ready to see something different. I'm ready to see another version of myself. I'm ready to have peace. I'm ready to have alignment. I want us to be able to say, okay, have you been walking around as your title? And have you been neglecting your trajectory? Because if you neglect the trajectory, it's a great reason for it to not move, that needle to not move. It's a great reason for us to keep moving in cycles because we haven't given a trajectory any type of structure, any type of nurturing, any type of development. And again, so busy looking at what we are instead of really being able to see what we're made of, really what we are becoming, what has been created within us thus far. So we want to take a moment ding, to look into all of that today. We want to take a moment to go deep into that, to have a better understanding of that, so and to really embrace those parts of us, because I am certain that if we are able to use these tools to take a bit of a perspective shift, not only are you going to be so proud of what you've accomplished so far and where you are, but you are really going to be able to look at the rest of your year open minded, excited, and blessed to be where you are right now. And I know what you're saying, girl. You saying that because you don't know what my bank account look like, my refrigerator, my gas tank, my credit score, my dating apps. You don't know what the stuff is looking like. And so you're sitting up in here saying I'm in my best space and I'm trying to tell you, but I'm trying to tell you. Okay? I'm trying to tell you, not the title. That's not what I'm asking you if you are that. I'm not asking you if you're a girlfriend yet, if you're a CEO yet, if you're a supervisor yet. I'm not asking you if you are a homeowner yet. I'm not asking what is your title. I am asking us to stop and purely, intentionally, and gracefully evaluate our trajectory. And in that, being able to see that you are right on time. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, and you are doing it in a wonderful way. And one of the reasons I can say that for certainty, because you're saying, look, Harmony, all these people in the moment, how you know people are where they are? First off, you're sitting right here in a moment of harmony. You are tuned in to your own development and your own progress. A moment of harmony is not a fun show. It's not funny. It's not necessarily entertaining. It's not a stream or a podcast that's like true crime or, edge of your seat type of situation. If you tuned into a moment of harmony today, it is because you good. Hey, Mr. Carter. It is because you care about where you are going. Your moments matter to you, and you want a safe space to heal, to grow, to release, and develop. And in that, I can already tell you, you're right where you need to be. Not because you're sitting here with me, but because you decided to sit with yourself. Right? And that's what we're doing here. We're sitting with self. You're exactly where you are supposed to be, and you are going where you are supposed to be going. And that is why at a moment of harmony today, we are doing trajectory over titles. Now, this next thing that I have to say, there's a lot of times on a moment of harmony where I really try to veer away from like any religious or personal perspectives because I am a spiritual being, right? And I operate out of spirit. I'm a spirit first type of girl. Okay. I operate just out of the righteousness of doing and being well within self and doing and being well for others and for what's around you. Good. Okay. My religion is good. It is being good. It is doing good. It is living good, well, righteous, upright. high vibration. Okay. It is a source energy mindset, and it just isn't, I just don't overcomplicate it. However, I always offer love and respect for all lanes of spiritual practice, all lanes of religious beliefs. However, you get to your good, I'm good with it. Okay. I'm good with however you get to your good. I am just praying, urging, and encouraging that you stay in what makes you truly good, what does well for your heart and your well-being, not what keeps you fanatical, or what keeps you critical, or what makes you better than other people, but what genuinely and truly keeps your thread of spirituality and humanity bond good. That's what I'm here for. I want to give that disclaimer because I'm going to give a personal belief that may not align with the way some people do see things religiously. Totally fine. I promise you that my beliefs come from a place of respect, deep love, and connection. It is in no way condemnation. It is in no way in my attempt to persuade or convince anyone otherwise. You will never be at a moment of harmony. This is never going to be a place of me trying to convince, or what is the other word? I'm 40 now, y'all. Stay with me. It'll come back. Um, but I'm in no way trying to move you in any type of direction. I am sharing. That is literally the only reason I come here at a moment of harmony. It is to share. It is to share, convert. There you go. I used to say it all the time during the my myatic moments. But the way this brain works today, listen, first off, Mr. Carter, love and light to you. Hit it to the left of me. Listen, when a moment of harmony gets big, do know that I know you work, and you know you've been working where you're working for a long time. But when I get big, homie, you gonna be a partner, okay? You're gonna have a contract with your girl. Because I need you. Thank you. Convert. This is in no way a place for me to convince or convert. He is correct. This is a place where I share. That is all I do. Is as a messenger of love and light, is to share from my experiences, to share from my research, to share from my heart. Okay. And my mind, that is certainly always going. I am also not sharing out of my mind. Okay. I am a very experienced, trained, and certified, even though we're not getting into titles today, experienced and trained community advocate and wellness practitioner. I have had many years in this lane of work before I came into starting to stream. I was on the ground, bootstrapped on the ground, front line in this line of work for decades. Little over decades. And now this is pretty much my retirement phase. Okay. This is not my first time out trying to figure it out. This is me coming on the chill and the humble, and being able to share in a way that is much more conducive to my soft girl era. Okay. So, all of that being said, to say this, here are the next couple of things. I was talking to my baby girl this week, and she was talking to me about, I wish I could remember what she was asking me about, but it was something to the nature of Jesus dying, right? My children have iPads, cell phones, they have devices like most of the children today. And on some instances they have restrictions, but they also know how to like not go into their, so for example, there's YouTube Kids that has all types of restrictions, but my daughter also knows how to not tune into YouTube Kids and try to plug into my YouTube, so that she has less restrictions on what she wants to watch. And not because she's wanting to watch anything crazy, it's just that she can't really do anything outside of like educational and Barbie, what have you, on her tablet. So a lot of times she wants to get into some of the like prank stuff, and she can't do that. So they see all types of stuff one of the reasons why, I'm not going to say that I allow it, but one of the things that I kind of flow with it is because I am big on debriefing my children. I have super open communication policies in my home, and that is with my minor two children as well as my adult children. Okay. And at this point, I have two and a half adults. Okay. One that's a senior next year. So two and a half adult children. And it is a complete open door policy over home. Okay. So my baby girl, she was talking to me about Jesus and the death of Jesus, right? And she was asking me a lot of questions about it. And I was expressing to her, even though she's 7, I was expressing to her in my educator's way, my early education development way, um, about the allegory of the Bible, right? And I was talking to her about um I'm trying to that she loves, like my daughter loves fables, and we're just story. We're a reading family, we're a writing family, we're thespians, like we're a theater family of theater and music and art, that's how we are. So she's big into like just the like the just how that whole griot lessons through stories type of thing. So she was asking something about Jesus Christ and his death, and I went on to explain to her my personal perspective, my spiritual relevance, or my own spiritual research in what it is that I study, about, which is African history and culture, about allegory, and about how there's so much for us to learn about life and the beginnings of life. And I know what the story got started about belly buttons. It's coming to me as I'm talking. She started talking about the belly button, and then she started to ask me if the first man and the woman, if God made a man and a woman. No, she didn't say that. She said if the first people were moms and dads, who were their moms and dads. That's what she was trying to understand. She was trying to understand, how did the first people get here without a mom and a dad? And then she went on to, like, being about, and then did those people have a belly button if they didn't have? It was deep. Okay, the conversation was deep, and I would spend my entire moment explaining how that all went. Okay. But I just wanted to take a fragment out of our conversations, and I talked to her, just talked to her a great deal about allegory, right? And how I was telling her a lot of stories, especially more religious based, lesson, ideology, theoretical based stories are designed, or they were created to teach us, to make us think, to help us understand life, especially on a more humanistic level, right? On a level of humanity. And I was saying that, how sometimes we excuse me, I referenced the tortoise and the hare. And I was like, well, was there really a tortoise and a hare that had a race? Probably not. But was this a story that we hear that taught us about being egotistical and arrogant, and how someone who is more prepared and more dedicated can go further than someone with a natural talent or gift, or ability? And she understood that, right? So we went into all of the allegory. As religious and biblical stories go, for what my personal spiritual beliefs are, it is allegorical, to be respected, to be appreciated. Yes, if that's your lane and where you are. Personally, I respect and appreciate all that is good. So you don't have to, right? Because I respect and appreciate doesn't always mean that I subscribe or that I don't understand certain components to it, but always love from me first. Okay. Now, the second thing was, I went into this whole the allegorical stories, and how there's stories of being in the belly of a whale, and being, dying and rising on the third day. All of these stories that, in my opinion, are lessons for us of actualizations, and they're lessons of us of righteousness, of um how to navigate this space. Now, of course, there's the Husia, there's the Quran, there's many books. I believe that all of them, right? And I have the Torah. I haven't begun to scratch the surface on all of them, but I believe that all of them have this common thread. of how we navigate this life in a righteous way. Okay. Now, how they've been used historically and how they've gone against certain things or how they may collide with what is, that is a whole nother story, right? But on this very basic level of respect, I'm talking just basic respect for what you believe and what I believe. This is what I'll say in this area. So in that, of course, that is the primary. Christianity is normally the primary, are the primary questions that my children bring to me, and what they see primarily on like the YouTubes and TikToks. They see lots of videos and things about these stories, and so they will ask me about them. So I was talking symbolically or allegorically about to her about the story, this long line of questioning that took place about the first people and where were their parents and how were they born. And I was telling her just how there are stories about how human nature were formed, and how I believe these are really just allegorical, um, these are allegorical, like, stories or messages about our unfolding, about our becoming, and how we do and how it goes all the way, that whether it's obedience and courage and faith and all of these things. Okay. For example, because I'm not going to give you the whole lineup I gave her, but just so that we're all on the same page of where I'm going as it pertains to this specific moment, right? For example, Immaculate Conception. When I hear and read about the story, or was, of course, as a young girl in certain religious environments, when the story of Immaculate Conception came about, um, as an adult, right, as a grown-up spiritualist, I see that as um manifestation. I see that as self-actualization. I see that thread of that story as some things we create with others, and some things we create with self. Some things we speak and they are. Some things we believe and they are. Some things are, there is a need, and therefore we create a version of ourselves or our reality, right? So, Immaculate Conception is, to me, self actualization, manifestation type of thing, right? Um, it's where you create from self. So then, what was the other thing that, and I'm not paraphrasing, I am giving you a synopsis, because when I tell you me and baby girl was getting it in, we were getting it in. The second one was the crucifixion, which as a spiritualist is symbolic to me of sacrifice, right? Of whether it is fasting, it is multifaceted. It's not so simple as sacrifice. There are so many things there, right? Betrayal and all of these things, but mainly sacrifice, right? The giving of yourself for others, as well as the giving of yourself for new realities within self. Now, and then this this rebirth that comes in the giving of yourself, that can be broken down into like starting a new workout regimen, and you go hard. You go hard on the diet, you go hard in the working out. The old version of you melts away, it dies, it hurts, it's painful. You pushing, and then the next thing you know, you are a brand new version of yourself. You are healthier, you are quicker, you are faster, you are all of these things, aesthetically well, healthy, safe, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm speeding through because I don't want to have her conversation again here, but I'm giving you that, right? So I'm saying all of that to say, all of that to say is, there historically, now again, I'm using me and her specific conversation, but from a historical context, we can go into many places, other than biblical, but again, that was me and hers conversation, right? Because of her questioning. And so I'm saying that historically, when it comes to us being able to look at life in a way that becomes very symbolic, that becomes very reflective, that becomes, even in symbolic, literally a outline or a map or a guide map. That is, when it comes to life being that way, it is almost, again, since the beginning of time, that we as beings have looked at life in the outline of it, in the presentation of it, in order to better set a trajectory for self, in order to realign, in order to redefine, in order to grow and become better versions of ourselves. When we get to the middle of 20 June 2026, we get to the middle of 2026, a lot of times we are not looking at our lives, the stories, the experiences of our today, of our right now, of our becoming. Many of time we are, when we thinking about a trajectory, we're still looking at, or what we should, or what we want, or what we don't have, instead of being able to really look at the walking word of your life, who you actually um are becoming, what your story is telling you right now, what's being unfolded for you in your everyday experiences, the examples right before you that are saying slow down, do more, tune in, isolate, socialize, create, rest, harvest, grow, plant, become. And again, our very personal lives, our very personal experience, the last 180 some odd days of this year have outlined for us enough of um, enough experiences for us to be able to look at them for our common thread of good, righteousness, and development. And when we get to the halfway point, I don't want us to see a check in as me just stopping to say what's going on with me right now today. But the check in is more so what is unfolding for my life in this year, in this moment, what is true for me right now, what is necessary for me right now, what is being asked of me right now. A lot of times our goals we've always had, our vision, our viewpoint are things that just our desires. What are you? I want to be this, I want to do that. I want to encourage us as a part of Trajectory Over Titles this episode today. I want to encourage us to look at the story your life is telling you right now. Up until this point in the year, you're at your halfway point, and what is this year already saying to you? What is it already saying about you? Are your patterns and your circumstances? What story is outlining for you symbolically that's letting you know what's happening to you and for you and about you right now for the rest of the year? Now, trajectory over title. Let's get into that, okay? When I say what are you, again, when we talk about the titles, the first thing that may come to your mind may be your titles. Um, I am a administrative officer, or I am a secretary, or I am a civil worker, I am a sailor, a soldier, whatever, right? And I want to know, again, the first part of us doing this reevaluation of self, this midpoint check in, is to stop and literally say, no, what are you? What are you made of? A lot of us are in the middle of the year, in the middle of ourselves, second guessing, questioning, scratching and surviving about this thing, because literally we are being where we are supposed to be to see exactly what we are made of. What are you made of? Or what I would like to call a microscope measurement. Put the microscope on me, because when the year started out, I said I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that and I wanted to be this person. And by now, I should have, by now I should have accomplished, by now I should have acquired by now. But what if where you've come so far in this year, whether you were able to successfully move to this new house or not, whether you were able to start this new business, where you were able to get this relationship off the ground, whatever your goals were, what if all of the things that you are not right now, title wise, are to show you who and what you are made of, trajectory wise? What if you are right in the middle of yourself? So that it, because if the titles would have become yours, you would have become the title. And what I mean by that is, if all of your goals worked out well, if you weren't right now reconsidering that business, if you were not right now really trying hard to listen to that side of yourself you often ignore for profit or gain or sustainability, right? Just for maybe not even profit or gain, but for survival or success, right? If you would have had the title, you would have never really had to get to the center of yourself to see, like, what am I actually? Am I faithful? Am I peace? This thing that I'm looking for. Am I peace? Am I light? Am I success within myself? Am I a success within myself? I know that if I would have become this CEO, I would definitely see myself as successful. If I would have lost this 100 pounds, I would definitely see myself as successful. But sometimes those things aren't coming to fruition in the right now, not in the never. That's why I want us to be able to see our trajectories for what they are. But sometimes these things aren't coming to fruition because you aren't truly aware of what you are without the title, without the success, without the money, without the overflow, without the relief, without the freedom, right? Shout out to my boy. Sometimes you think you are that person, that you are in good times, in easy times, in flowing times, and you don't know what you are in hard times. Because in the easy times, again, you are the boss. You are the free one. You are abundant. You are wealthy. You are successful. That's who you will say you are. Well, what am I? I am the head of such and such and such, right? I am the mom. I am the father. Well, what about when it's not very easy to be that? Let's have some things not be there yet, because before I give you the title, I would really like to know, or you to know, what the foundation is. And I'm talking in terms of source energy, universal alignment. I want you to know what you are before you begin to define yourselves by what there is to be. What are you made of? If I put a microscope on you, and a lot of times we're in a microscope measurement, you think you're failing. You think that you are struggling. You think that you are not winning. You think that you are losing your mind. You think you are messing this whole thing up. You think you're foolish. You think you're slow. You think you're behind. You think you're just scratching and surviving. And really, you're in a microscope measurement. Yes, it's easy for you to be kind when I give you enough to give away. It's easy for you to be a good mate or a honest, transparent, upstanding partner when you have what's needed to do all of those things. When you can get up in there and show off and show out. When you can be an example of integrity, is easy. You're not stressing and struggling. You're not down on yourself. Easy for you to be light and bubbly, okay, when the refrigerator is full, the gas tank, and the account. But microscope measurements is if I put the anybody seen before, we know with certain science projects, or I don't even want to call it science project because it's quite cruel. But we learned that if you put a microscope on a, what am I saying, a microscope, a magnifying glass, that's what I want to say. If you put a magnifying glass on an insect, or let's just say a spot on the sidewalk, on your leg, that it transfers the sun's heat in such a way that it can almost produce like it produces an immense amount of heat. They say it can start steam or set something on fire. Now, I've never been that committed to the process, but I do know that putting a magnifying glass on something can do a streamline of heat. And sometimes you feel like what you want it to become, the CEO, the healthy gym rat, the wife, the mother, the father, the entrepreneur, right? Whatever the free-minded person, the open-hearted person, the healed being, the things that you wanted to become. Sometimes the magnifying glass on you is uncomfortable. It's hot, it's gruesome. And so you may feel right now that you're in a space where you're at your halfway point. You're halfway through the year and you're looking at things. And you're saying 6 months ago, um, Western calendar, January 1, 2026, this is not where I thought June 2026 where I would be, what it would look like, this is not what I anticipated. And so when you're doing your halfway check-in, you may be telling me, like, Harmony, I'm not good, sis. It's not good over here. I'm not winning. It's not happening. I don't know what's happening. And I want to tell you that what if I wanted to share with you, it is still happening? What if every experience up until June 2026, these 180 some odd days are a story of what's happening, are a sequence of reoccurrences that are constantly letting you know what's happening. You are growing in your endurance. You are growing in your discernment. You are learning to value your worth. You are being qualified in your journey. What if I told you that you're under a microscope measurement, a magnifying glass that is truly seeing if you are who you believe you are, if you are who you are required to be to acquire all of the things you are asking for? So, again, what are you? What are you made of? What I've learned so far in this year. And let me tell you something, when I go through things, because I've had some serious seasons, I get this mindset sometimes. My conversation and my communication with spirit is that, don't you already know I'm loyal? I'm faithful. I'm strong. I'm patient. I'm kind under pressure. I'm loving under pressure. I'm loyal under deficit. Don't you already know? Because I've had seasons before where I was at rock bottom and I still showed up. And I was at rock bottom and I dared to dream. And my heart was broken and I found space to love. Haven't I already proven to myself and to life and the energetic flow of life that I'm about it? Why do I still need to go through these types of transformations? Well, it's not until the last 180 some odd days where I learned that there is even more of you to become. There is a complacency that happens in arriving in yourself that stunts growth and development. There is a complacency, there is a stagnation in the best of us in states of self arrival and accomplishment. If I did this, I can do that. I know I can do. And we begin at times to lose the humility and also begin to still second guess ourselves. To still say, if I don't do this, this is not going to happen. If I don't make that, sometimes you get put right in the middle of yourself so that you can be reminded that it is not the job that's making you. It is not your friends or families that are making you who you are. Contributing, yes. It is not the goal of life. It is not the center of your existence. These things that you've measured, if I can get my words together, that you've measured yourself about. What are you made of? It's why the business hasn't come to fruition just yet or stayed consistent. It's why you're hitting a rough patch. It's why you're sick. It's why you're looking. Because are you still worried about if you can make it? Are you still worried about if you can take it, if you can do it? Are you still looking for the courage to stand up for yourself? Are you still looking for a window to measure your value externally? You are where you are so that you know what you are. There's no cruelness, there's no cruelty, there's no punishment here. We do not serve a cruel creator. You are where you are so that you are certain about what you are. Sometimes we say, well, I'm proving myself to whatever source energy you serve most high. What if you are just proving yourself to you? You're proving yourself to you. I can move away from the things that don't serve me. I understand what is there for me, what is true, what is not. I no longer seek validation or people pleasing or low vibration for the sake of being here. I am where I am so that it is clearer on what I am. You ever been in a situation where it seems so low that you should make a compromise against yourself? You so low and someone sees that you're low, they offer you something and you say, listen, I don't care how bad this. I was just having this conversation the other day with one of my besties. And I'm saying this, look, one thing Harmony going to bed with. This is an example of what are you made of. Past the shoes, past the purses, past the money, past the titles, past the roles. What are you made of? You're in the middle of your year, at the middle of yourself. What are you made of? Right? Again, I told someone, I said, look, Harmony might go to bed. Let me tell you when I go to bed at night. Because people, listen, people will try you when they know that you're finding you, when they know that you're grieving, or they know that you are seeking. It's predatory society. This is a predatory societal structure that we're all groomed in. And there may have come a time where you might go against yourself for the sake of survival. I say, here's the thing. I might go to bed without food. I might go to bed without a man. I might go to bed even without heat or cold. Creator, this is just a mic. Don't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't speaking that. But here, what I'm always going to bed with, no matter what, is my integrity. It's my dignity. That's what I'm going to lay down with. And see, sometimes you'll get put in a predicament to test that part of you. That's what I say about Harmony. I don't know what you say about yourself. But sometimes you are in the middle of yourself to see exactly what you are made of. So you will know this. Listen, I don't care how bad it gets. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving up on this. I'm not turning back on that. I'm not changing lanes on this. I'm not being defeated in this mindset. Take this, listen. take it, but the mindset stays. The belief system is intact. What are you made of? Microscope measurement. When you are sitting here saying that you are not what you thought you should be by now, please understand that you are very likely in an evaluation period for your better good that proves to you so that when you have to stand on business later, standing on business on shaky ground makes you a different type of person. Standing on business in the middle of an earthquake is a different type of being. It creates in you a different type of reality, a different measure of self. So, therefore, when you get to where you are going and you are the CEO and you are the wife, you are the father, you do become the entrepreneur. All of that little stuff that happens when life happens, a goon to a goblin. Shout out to Lil Wayne. What's a goon to a goblin? I've stood on business on shakier ground. I can handle these little couple of customers, this little budget arrangement, this little budget outline or developmental, this project. I got this. Because not because of where I graduated from, which is kudos to you, not because of who I have in my corner, not because of how much financial backing, but because of when I didn't have any of that, who I still was and who I am certain. Before I wanted to be who I wanted to be, but now I'm certain of who I actually am. I am that, right? Your trajectory over your title. What are you? Don't sit up there and lose it, sis. Don't start doubting yourself, brother. It is your time to believe in yourself now more than ever. It is your time to go after your dreams and your goals with the risks that you've taken on yourself, the reset order that's on your life, the reconstruction that is underway right now, the yellow tape all the way around your life. It is on you now more than ever to say, not what are my clothes made of, what type of fabrics, not what kind of oil goes inside of my car, is it premium or unleaded, but what am I made of? What am I made of? Bus pass, premium gas, all of that in between. What am I made of, though? Microscope measurement. We're going about to go around moment real quick, so I'm gonna finish this real quick, right? What are you growing as a human being? You are an ever we are naturally, innately ever evolving. We have tons of distractions, and what is it? Deceptions. That's what I want to say. Tons of deceptions and distractions just streaming around us constantly. Constantly. Because if left alone, this is what naturally means. If left alone, if not poisoned, if not distracted, if not disoriented, if not fractured or fearful, if left alone, that's what natural means. What will happen? If not at all interfered with or augmented, if left alone, we naturally evolve in thought, because here we'll have necessity. What is it the doctor used to say? Necessity is the mother of creation or innovation, invention, something to that nature, right? Shout out to the doc. If left alone, we will see a need for things and we will begin to create evolution. We will experience things that will cause us to think outside the box, us to think evolution. We will grow older, wiser, wider, smaller, whatever. We will evolve. A human being, and like most living things, are ever evolving creatures. We will evolve if left alone. When we see marriages, relationships, status, social statuses where people don't evolve, they don't become better, they don't get wiser, they don't get stronger. It is absolutely the result of a deviation. It is absolutely the result of being disoriented in this oppressive structure. And that is exactly because if not, right, if we didn't line all our children up and put them in school buildings, classrooms under fluorescence, like our children would evolve. Still, if we set them at home under us, if we gave rites of passage, if we sat with them and talked with them, naturally they would evolve with us in the environments that they are in. So when it comes to me getting to the middle of June with you and ask, what are you? What are you, my love? Midpoint check-in. Welcome to the halfway checking in. What are you? I want to know what you're made of. This is what you're discovering for yourself. But I also am asking, what are you growing? I know when you get to the halfway of June, you want to tell me all your great accomplishments. Again, the resolutions, the new commitments to self. You want to talk to me about all the accomplishments you've done at work, all the things, but I want to know, what are you growing? This is the part of the trajectory over titles. Okay, not what do you do, what are you? What are you growing? You are a ever evolving being. There should never be a 12 midnight that gets to another 12 midnight and you haven't grown something. Now, as a mother, I can't help but to grow. When I want to sit and be quiet, I have to grow minds. I have to grow futures. I have to grow an empire, a legacy that will grow down into great grandchild, grandchild, great grandchild. Okay, I have to grow literally as I'm nurturing my children, I am nurturing their families. I understand the weight of that, right? As I'm, especially my daughters, as I'm growing my daughters, as I am feeding them, I am feeding the house of a grandchild. This will be the womb that my legacy continues in. We are ever evolving. So to sit and say, "Oh, I don't know what's happening. I don't know." No, what are you growing? I promise you, if you stop and you look, truly do a check-in with self, you will see where you are and you will give thanks. You will rejoice. You will give yourself the grace and the love you so rightfully deserve. Well, at this point, I would love to be taking my children to on a Disney cruise, and I would like to be number one at my job with my plaque on the wall. What are you growing, ma'am, sir? What have you evolved, or are you still being distracted and deceived into not growing what truly matters in your spiritual well-being? Growing your consciousness, growing your talents, growing your ideas, growing in your character. Grow. What are you growing today? When I get to the point where I'm saying, listen, it's so rough spiritually, emotionally. We've had loss in the family. We're having economic warfare and crisis right now. What do you mean? What am I? What we want to say? I'm broke. I'm tired. I'm over it. No, no, my love. What are you growing? Because you are growing children that watch resilience, beauty and grace under pressure. You are growing something. You are growing in your thought processes, the things that used to appeal to you or that you would give your time and energy, these devices that you would give 2 and 3 hours today, you've now begun to put into writing or reading or reconstructing. You are growing in faith of yourself because of where you aren't. Y'all catch that? You're growing in faith of yourself because of what you haven't accomplished just yet. Because of what didn't work for you. You're growing in faith of self. You're growing in understanding. What are you growing? And then as we get ready to get out of here, what are you now? Trajectory over titles. We're at a midway check-in, and I'm saying, what are you? As you stop and look at yourself, I've asked you, how are you? How you healing? I've asked you, where are you? Where's your mind, body, soul, spirit? Where are you? You stuck somewhere else? You in the future? You in the past? Where are you right now? In the middle of June, in the middle of yourself. Why are you? Why are you still doing what you were doing? Why are you believing in what you're believing in? Why are you moving the way that you're moving? What's your reason for this season? Right? And the final question of this course is, what are you? And I want to end this course session out of today's episode with, what are you now? A part of being able to appropriately assess your alignment. Because I know right now you want so badly, we've been trained and conditioned. You want so badly to measure yourself and your success and your value off of some number, any number, a weight number, a money number, a day's number. You want to measure your value and your success off of some type of dream or hope or goal. But I want you to be able to appropriately, this is the tools we are using today in a moment of harmony. Before I get all up into saying what I should, could, wanted, how about I stop to just see where I am now? My life has changed. Some of you feel like you're unsuccessful, and it's because you're still measuring yourself again, like we talked about, in another season. Where are you now? Where are you after the disappointment? Where are you after the heartbreak? Where are you after the bankruptcy or the shortcoming or the alteration? Where are you now? And being able to see where you are now is being able to see where I'm going. Part of why you feel lost, misplaced, disheveled, delirious, bored, angry, upset, unsettled is because you don't even know where you're going. It's easy to feel lost if you don't know where you're going. And you don't know where you're going is possible. Not knowing where you're going is possibly because you're measuring financially, um, economically, um, credentially. You're measuring on these other lanes instead of saying, look, it's better to know where you are going if you know where you are right now, but you've never done an assessment after the shifts. You've been shifting, my love. Growth is not only about success. Milestones are not only about just keep going. It's the shifting that takes place for the 180 some odd days in 2026. You've been shifting. And now you feel so lost from all the shifting. You don't know whether you're going left or right. Where is your next breakthrough? Where is your next blessing? When can you come up for air? But the thing is, where are you now? See, we can't get what we need if we don't even know where we are. You're just sending out thoughts or fears, frustrations out into the universe. Let's be grounded in clarity and then say, this is where I am now. That I was looking for before won't even work for me. That's why it didn't come. That's why it hasn't manifested or actualized. There's no fruition with it. It won't even work for you right now, what you're asking for. You want something that used to be. You want something that belonged to a version of you that did not go through what you went through. It's time to reconstruct and reevaluate and then to analyze. So, in this, what are you? We're talking about accepting, aligning, and acquainting. Accepting, aligning, and acquainting. Accept what is happening in your life from the beginning of January to now is telling a story. Accept that which needs to be changed. Accept that which no longer works for you. Accept that which is now a part of who you are and is not going anywhere. Sometimes it's like, oh, I can't get rid of this habit. Listen, you still in that place of pain that developed that habit. Sometimes you haven't reached your resolution because you're trying to get rid of something that's attached to a healing component. No, you're not going to just stop eating food because you want to lose weight. You have to, something is still broken inside of you that started that cycle in the first place. No, you're not going to just start being this for those that are out there struggling with being honest or upstanding or courageous in their speech and their tone and their delivery and their showing up. You're not going to just make a decision to be better. Some of these idiosyncrasies or some of these flawed characteristics are tied to survival mechanisms. They're tied to trauma scars. Where are you now? You trying to heal something and just move forward. But where are you? Who is the person you've now become after the loss, after the letdown, after the disappointment, after the chapter shifts? So, first off, being able to truly accept where I am now and who I am now. I know, listen, me and the bestie were talking about some stuff this week on our traumas, right? We have some traumas, child. We're not even trying to play around and act like they not there. We have some things, some circumstances, situations we shouldn't even be a part of anymore. I have to accept that. I cannot call myself a failure. I cannot say, oh, you aren't healed enough or you haven't arrived yet because certain things feel a certain way, but I haven't accepted that this is, I'm not that type of person. I don't do that. I can't do that no more. A smidget of an example is this heat. I don't play with it at all. Okay. The car to the door. I don't pretend that I'm about to sit out at nobody's outdoor anything event. I don't pretend that I want to sit and run around errands when it's 113. I can't do it at all. Now, I see my oldest daughter, she's 17. She out ripping and rapping. She on a scooter. Her and her friends walking around Canton and things and Godspeed. Okay. I'm not there. There was a time when the heat didn't do what it does to me. But what I'm saying is being able to accept what, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Clark? I am in not no type of denial. I won't be in nobody's parade. I won't be seeing nobody's fireworks outside. I'm not sitting nowhere. No cookout, no. I don't want to sit on the. I don't even want to go to the water unless I'm going to be in it. But this poolside, beachside, that's not today. Okay. You're right. When we were younger, but being able to accept that that's not where you are anymore. I could do it. Artscape, AFRAM. I mean, sweating bullets. It's different today. I don't even want to sit in a car. I don't even want to go on some. I don't want to go where there's no AC. Today, not even don't want to, can't. Okay, hormones is harmoning. Harmony is different, and I accept that. I accept that. Being able to accept where you are today before you start talking about what you should be and what you can. Well, do you even know who you are now after the shifts? After the changes, accept this. Girl, be okay with it. My love, brother, be all right with this is who I am today. There was a time when I would tolerate X, Y, and Z. There was a time when I would scrape from the bottom up. There was a time when I was the rookie, when I was there was a time, the hazing, there was a time when that would do the thing and I would do that and it would go. I have to accept. I'm so upset about where I'm not and I haven't accepted just yet where I am. Accept and then align. Where are you now? Align with where you are, the friends where you are, the dating circle, or I'm not a circle type of girl, but you know what I'm saying? I do know what's going on out here. But who you're dating, align. It needs to align with what you've accepted. Okay. For example, there was a time back in the day I've never drank or smoke, and there was a time back in the day where I did not necessarily. It wasn't a no go for me if a guy drank or smoked. I just didn't really want him to do it around me, especially the smoking part. But listen, the way I am set up now, okay, my mental about health, my mental about the temple, the way I feel about my own body, especially when it comes to mixing bodies, you know what I'm saying? Align. Don't be upset about where you're trying to go and you haven't yet done the aligning. Accept where you are now. I'm not at a point where I'm willing to compromise on this, or that, or I am at a place where I'm willing to grow and compromise on this, and that. And then I need to align this new version of myself, this new understanding. All of these experiences bring new understanding. Align with your understanding. Align with your current awareness, your awakenings. Align with those things. Don't just have them in your head, have them in your life. Okay? Align and then acquaint. Allow me to reintroduce myself, right? Reacquaint yourself. Be well acquainted with who you are before you start to judge where you are. So, what are you? Now I can answer this question. Now I don't have to come from the well. I'm this and I'm a that and I'm a mom and I'm a partner and I'm a homeowner and I'm an educator and I'm a graduate of this and I'm no. Not your titles, your trajectory. What are you? Now I can say I am peace. I am balance. I am healing. I am learning. I am open. I am receptive. I am certain. I am confident. I am concrete. I am solid. I am well. And that doesn't have anything to do, this is why you don't have it yet, because it doesn't have anything to do with the bank account. These are all sprinkles on life. It doesn't have anything to do with the scale number. It doesn't have anything to do with the blood count, white blood cells, what have you. It doesn't have anything to do with the positive, non positive pregnancy test. What are you? When you check in midway, check in that way. Okay? I love you all so much. We have gone over. Y'all know I do my best. And I got here on time today. And I still went over. Girl, get your life. But I am getting my life. And I'm getting it with you guys. And I love you guys to life. So here's the thing. Go on. Take really good care of yourself. Thank you. And thank you for those that sit out all through this whole moment, because your girl be going and y'all be sitting and I love you. Okay. Top fan badges going out. Boop, 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 boop. Take really good care of yourself. It is hot out here. Okay. Stay cool. Stay cool. Stay cool. Stay cool. You know what I'm saying? And then go on out your way. Until next time, my love. And then go on out your way and take really good care of someone else. Call somebody, check in on somebody, give somebody some love. Pray for them in private. They don't even have to know. Just go and take really good care of someone else. I love you to life. I love you in light. And I will see you next week on another moment of harmony. Let me see. How beauty not hot under them blankets. Oh, he's trying to peep in the. She's not there today. She's walking around. I didn't have to shush her. I didn't have to say mommy mercy. But I had to push her. That's just pillows, Sam. That's just pillows. But the area is bumping. We bumping in here, okay? I'm in a chat. I know sometimes y'all like, girl, what are you talking about? You can't always see the chat, especially on the playback, but I'm talking to my homie. I love y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, your weekend, and I will see you next week again for another moment of harmony.